I want to go over some playing of triads. This is 3-note chords, and I've found this to be kind of a weak spot with returning students, beginner students, adult students. This is something that slows you down, and it shouldn't. It's something we can tackle. So a triad is a 3-note chord, and we have to think of it that way, a 3-note unit, rather than 3 individual notes. And again, I like to think about kids learning to read. We look at letters first. We might see the letters C-A-T, but we know that says cat. And if you recognize the word cat, you don't think of individual letters. You just see it as a word. And we need to think that way about triads also. When we see that on the page or we hear that in the music, it's a 1-unit thing. We're going to stick with C major for now, just to keep it simple. All white keys, easy to find. A C major triad looks like this. 3 notes played exactly together, C, E, G. Each note has a label. C is the root. It's the most important part. It's the first note, the name of the chord. E is called the 3rd, and G is the 5th. These are built in skips. There's a note in between each one, and we can play it like this. You can practice these blocked. You can practice them broken. But either way, we're thinking of it as 1 unit. A triad scale is a way to practice the feeling in your hand, the spacing for these triads. And I like to just walk up the scale as slow as you need to, doesn't matter, back down. As you're doing this triad scale, listen, feel. Do it with your eyes closed if you want. Absorb how these triads feel and sound, and your hand should be able to kind of place those without a lot of trouble. You could also do this. Play, hands in your lap. Next one, hands in your lap. And it's all about finding the spacing in your hand, the feeling of the chord. I want to talk a little bit more about chord inversions, which is where we rearrange the notes of a triad to create a different spacing, a different sound, different use in our music, actually. Take that root position, C major chord, and the C is going to jump from the bottom of the chord now to the top. It's still called the root, but it's in a different place. In this chord, we have the 3rd, the 5th, and the root. It's still a C major chord. The spacing is skip and then a leap. There's a little bigger distance at the top. If you have 3 family members sitting at a table and they get up and change places, they're still the same people, just in different places. So that's what's happening with this chord. 3 notes, still the same notes, still the same chord, just moved around. We can take that first inversion triad and practice it the same way. Find the placement. Again, hands in your lap. Find it easily. Hands in your lap, find it again. And we can walk up the scale with first inversion triads. Back down. And you could go as slowly as you need to find that, build that in your hand and in your muscle memory. One more to talk about is second inversion. Same story here. We're taking the 3 notes, rearranging them, so this time, the 5th is at the bottom, G. Root in the middle, 3rd at the top. Look at the spacing now. That smaller distance of a skip is at the top of your hand, and the bigger leap is at the bottom. Practice finding second inversion chords and walk up the scale. Listen to how those sound and back down. Once you're comfortable with the spacing and the way those are built, you can actually go root, 1st, 2nd, root, and back down to your home chord, root position. That's a great thing to practice. Either hand should be able to do that easily. Later on, you can move that into other keys, minors, augmented, diminished. We'll go lots of places with that, but this is where we have to start. When you're able to do that, broken chords can happen. What was that? I'm taking the same inversions and I'm just playing note by note. Root, 1st, 2nd, and root. Back down the same way. That's a great exercise. Blocked, broken, and you can do more and more with these triads and inversions. You'll find them in piano music every day, and it's great to have them easy access, that your hand knows how to find the chord quickly. You don't have to break it down note by note, but you see it as one unit, 3 things happening together